Long before the first light of morning touched the rooftops of a quiet little town, a small workshop was already awake. Inside, hundreds of clocks ticked together in a gentle rhythm, like a peaceful orchestra. Tall clocks, tiny clocks, brass clocks, and wooden clocks lined the walls. And in the middle of them all worked a humble clockmaker named Thomas, whose careful hands filled the room with the steady music of time. Watching him closely was his daughter, Lina. She had grown up among spinning gears and swinging pendulums, learning the quiet language of ticking clocks. While her father built beautiful timepieces that made people smile, Lina spent her days fixing the broken ones. Even though her hands were steady and clever, she quietly wondered if she would ever be as good as her father. One night, after the workshop had grown quiet and the town had fallen asleep, Lina noticed something unusual. In the corner of the room stood her father's most mysterious creation, a magnificent golden clock that had never once moved. As her father slept beside a fading candle, Lina slowly walked toward the silent clock, her curiosity growing with every step. The golden clock shimmered softly in the dim light. Lina gently placed her hand against its cool surface. For a moment, nothing happened. Then suddenly, a soft ticking sound echoed from deep within the clock. Slowly, the elegant golden hands began to move for the very first time, glowing with a strange and beautiful light, and the moment those hands reached the very top of the clock, everything stopped. The candle flame froze in the air. The pendulums of the clocks hung perfectly still. Outside the window, a bird was frozen in mid-flight. Time itself had come to a complete and silent halt. Before Lina could even catch her breath, the golden clock began to open. Its shining face slowly parted like a doorway made of light. Inside was not a clock at all, but a glowing passage filled with floating gears and gentle streams of golden light. With a deep breath and a brave heart, Lina stepped inside. The moment she entered, Lina found herself in a magical world where memories floated like glowing bubbles in the air. Inside each one were moments from the town. Children laughing in the square, rainy afternoons, and warm fires glowing in quiet homes. Time itself seemed to drift gently around her like a soft breeze. At the center of this mysterious place floated something enormous, a giant golden clock hand, frozen perfectly in place. It was the missing hour, the moment that had stopped the entire world. Around it swirled soft shadowy shapes, whispering quietly with voices that sounded like doubt. The whispers circled Lina as she stood beneath the giant clock hand. They murmured that she could not fix something so big. They told her she was not the real Clockmaker. Lina hesitated, her hands trembling as the frozen hour loomed above her. Then one of the glowing memory bubbles drifted closer. Inside it, Lina saw her father watching her repair a tiny watch at the workbench. His face was filled with quiet pride. In that moment, Lina understood something important. Her father had always believed in her, even when she did not believe in herself. The shadows grew quieter as Lina stepped closer to the frozen clock hand. She lifted her hands toward it, gathering her courage. Perhaps she was not the master clockmaker yet, but she had spent her life fixing broken things. And right now, time itself was broken. Lina placed both hands against the giant golden hand and pushed with all her strength. At first it would not move at all. The frozen hour was heavy and stubborn, like a door that had been closed for far too long. But Lina listened carefully, the way she always did when repairing a clock. Beneath the silence she heard it, a faint rhythm waiting to begin again. Slowly, the golden hand shifted just a tiny bit. A crack of glowing light spread through the frozen hour. Suddenly the frozen moment shattered into brilliant golden light. The giant clock hand swung forward, and the entire magical world burst into motion. Memory bubbles spun like stars, and glowing gears began to turn once more as time surged forward again. In the next instant, Lina tumbled back into the workshop. The golden clock closed behind her with a quiet glow. The candle flame flickered again. The pendulums began to swing, and outside the bird continued its flight through the morning sky. Lina slowly stood beside the golden clock, still catching her breath. Around her, the workshop was alive again with the comforting sound of ticking clocks. Her father stirred awake in his chair, blinking in surprise at the peaceful music filling the room. For the first time ever, the magnificent golden clock began ticking proudly in the corner of the workshop. Thomas looked at the moving hands, then at Lina. A warm smile slowly spread across his face, as if he somehow understood what had happened. Morning sunlight poured through the windows as Lina stood beside her father at the workbench. Together they looked over the tiny gears of another clock. This time, Lina's hands moved with calm confidence. Outside, the town square filled with the cheerful sounds of a new day. People walked along the cobblestone streets, and the clockmaker's shop welcomed the gentle rhythm of life once more. Inside the workshop, Lina carefully repaired another small clock while her father watched proudly. The golden clock ticked softly behind them, keeping perfect time. From that day on, Lina worked beside her father not just as a helper, but as a true clockmaker in the making. Her steady hands learned more with every passing day. The townspeople often visited the shop, bringing their broken clocks and watches. And more often, it was Lina who carefully brought them back to life. The workshop filled with warm sunlight and the joyful ticking of hundreds of clocks. Lina studied each tiny gear and spring with growing skill and patience. Her father watched with quiet pride, knowing that the future of the workshop was already shining brightly before him. As evening arrived, the clocks chimed together in a peaceful harmony that filled the whole room with warmth. Lina placed a newly repaired clock on the shelf, smiling softly at the steady ticking sound it made. Outside, the golden light of sunset bathed the town as Lina and her father helped their neighbors, bringing time back to many homes. Back inside the workshop, Lina studied another delicate clock mechanism, her eyes focused and confident. The golden clock stood tall and steady nearby, its hands moving smoothly through each passing moment. Lina had discovered something truly powerful. She was not just someone who fixed broken things. She was someone brave enough to keep time moving forward.